Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Mind Map. Today's topic of discussion is resource mobilization. First of all, we will discuss what is a resource. Then we will discuss about the importance of resource mobilization cycle, types of resources, aspects of resource mobilization, changing context of resource mobilization in India, and major issues with mobilization of resources. First of all, let's understand what is a resource. Resource is a source of supplies, support, or aid, especially one that can be readily drawn upon when needed. It could be in any form such as ideas, grants and aids, people or infrastructure, etc. As resources are always scarce and demands or wants are unlimited, effective mobilization of resources are necessary. Resources mobilization is a process of assembling and organizing both financial and non-financial resources, either externally or internally, to support organizational activities. Now moving on to importance of resource mobilization. It increases productivity, efficiency, and also supports sustainability. It allows for improvement and scale-up of products and services. It helps in diversification and expansion of existing resources, and it maximizes the use of domestic capital and skills. Now let's discuss about resource mobilization cycle. The process of resource mobilization can be divided into three main phases: planning, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation. The planning phase. This phase should ideally establish resource mobilization strategy and an action plan. Firstly, a situation analysis of the external resource environment is required in order to discover the opportunities that may exist and how best to approach potential resource partners. Secondly, the resource requirement of the program should be examined and plans should be developed on how to engage with the resource partners. The implementation phase. The implementation phase is also known as execution phase, which deals with the identification, allocation, and adjustment of resources in such a way to achieve the desired goals efficiently and effectively. And the monitoring and evaluation phase. This phase measures individual benchmark and ensures efficiency while limiting overexploitation of resources. Now let's have a look at different types of resources. Natural resources. These are naturally occurring substances considered valuable in their natural form. It refers to the things that exist freely in nature for human use and don't necessarily need the actions of human beings for their generation or production. Human resource. Humans are considered to be the resources because of their ability to transform original resources of nature into a valuable resource. This is done with the help of skills, knowledge, and technology. The word human capital is sometimes used synonymously with human resources. Financial resources. Economic resources which are measured in terms of money are known as financial resources. They are mostly used by the government, entrepreneurs, and businesses for the production of goods and services. Some of the major financial resources are debt and equity instruments, taxes, and savings and deposits. Now let's understand about the various aspects of resource mobilization. Mobilization of natural resources. Mobilization of natural resource has garnered much attention in the present economic scenario, despite the fact that there is abundance of natural reserve within its geographical limits. The main reason behind the underutilization of these plentiful resources are the policy holdups that hinder the process. Mobilization of human resources. Human resource is the potential of the people in a country. They are crucial and must be prepared for ready use. In a sense, human resource mobilization is the empowerment of human resource. Mobilization of financial resources. For a country to grow, more goods and services need to be produced. The production can be done by the government sector, private sector, or in public-private partnership. However, for this to happen, effective mobilization of financial resources is required. This can be done by widening of tax base. This will help government collect more funds which are further used for various expenditures. encouraging savings and investment. Savings are channelized by banks and financial institutions to generate short-term as well as long-term credit. Capital expenditure. These are the expenses to generate long-term financial benefits. And factors of production. The four factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Resource mobilization through multilateral agencies. Multilateral agencies have a wide variety of objectives and interests. They provide various developmental assistance through which resources are effectively mobilized to achieve desired goals. They provide grants and assistance in order to encourage development or growth in a particular area. Role of taxes in resource mobilization. Taxes, direct and indirect, are considered as the major financial resources of any government, as these are used for various developmental purposes. Taxes raise resources in a non-inflationary way. In fact, by reducing disposable incomes of the people, taxes tend to check inflation by curtailing consumption demand. Role of monetary policy in resource mobilization. Monetary policy can mobilize financial resources such as savings and investments by formulating cheap money policy, which indeed influences the economic growth and capital formation. By controlled deficit financing, it can provide additional resources for developmental investment by the government. In underdeveloped countries, monetary policy proves helpful in achieving exchange stability. Role of public debt in resource mobilization. This is another method by which savings resources in EPFO, LIC, state-owned banks and other financial institutions, etc. is mobilized for economic development. Public borrowing becomes necessary because taxation alone cannot provide sufficient funds for economic developments. Role of foreign investment in resource mobilization. FDI plays a vital role in resource mobilization as it is a source of capital accumulation, both physical capital and human capital. FDI can generate much needed revenues for governments to spend on infrastructure and services. Changing context of resource mobilization in India. Following are several new dimensions emerging in the domain of resource mobilization. Challenges arising due to functions of international NGOs, bilateral and multilateral donors setting their agendas through NGOs, corporate agencies investing in CSR, that is corporate social agencies. Now lastly, let's discuss about major issues with mobilization of resources. Low-income countries are in a state of perpetual struggle with poverty. In such a situation, resource mobilization can be a challenge. Foreign aid comes with its fair share of restrictions and conditions. Most of the FDI comes in brownfield, thus sufficient number of job creation does not take place. Now it's time for the practice question. First of all, prelims question. Which of the given actions will increase the resources of the government? 1. Widening of the tax base. 2. Starting a social welfare program. Select the correct options from the following. 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. And now mains question. Explain the meaning of investment in an economy in terms of capital formation. Discuss the factors to be considered while designing a concession agreement between a public entity and private entity. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.